Hi, it's Matthew Nixon of MindDay.ca. I am bicycling across Canada for mental health. I'm in a campground laundromat right now. I'm. It's finally hitting me. It's finally hitting me because right now I am 60 kilometers from St. John's, Newfoundland, and Signal Hill and the Atlantic Ocean, where I will dip my front wheel of my bicycle into the Atlantic Ocean. It's not the same bike I had. I got the bike in Calgary thanks to generous donations from people, and Jeff Slater, who organized to get me a new bike. My old bike, I believe, is still in Calgary, wishing it was here at the Atlantic Ocean. Ah! But anyway, I dipped my back wheel of my old bike that's still in Calgary in the Pacific Ocean. So with some magic, we can transfer that over. And it's hitting me. Tonight I got to the campground and I'm like, yeah, this is it. Now this is what I'm talking about. Woo! And yeah, I did it. I did it. Technically, 60 kilometers, could walk that. People walk marathons. I could walk maybe 60 kilometers in, let's say, 12 hours. Could do that tomorrow. It is act. I've been joking about being within walking distance to the Atlantic Ocean when I got to like maybe Ontario or the Quebec or the Maritimes, because the trip was a good chunk of it was over by then. But it's now actually true. I can actually walk the rest of the way, but I'll bike. And yeah, I'm just it's really hitting me. I'm just tickled pink. I'm overjoyed. I've been phoning some friends and texting some friends tonight because I'm just, I want to share this. So I'm like, I'm making a video. Man with schizophrenia, after 30 years slaving away in his recovery, gets to do this trip again. I did it when I was 20. I'm doing it again now at 51. Yeah. Do you see a feather in my cap? Notch on my belt? A tool in my toolkit? And I want to savor this. I really want to savor this. Tomorrow the forecast is for fog in the morning and sun and 27, quite warm in the afternoon. So I will get there in the afternoon at some point. NTV, the Newfoundland TV station, they want to film me dipping my front wheel in the Atlantic Ocean, which will be probably in Quidi-Vidi Lake. It's a harbor, a saltwater harbor right next to Signal Hill. There's a Terry Fox monument, I guess, or something that I might be allowed to dip my front wheel in. I don't know what the rules are around that. It might not be allowed anymore because of danger. I don't know. And then bike up to Signal Hill. And the last time I biked up there, the only other time I've been here, it was foggy. I don't know what the view at Signal Hill looks like in real life. I've seen pictures of it, but it looks like the weather will be good and I'll have a fantabulous view. Did I mention I'm just tickled pink? I'm just tickled pink. Actually, I'm tickled brown. I haven't been this tanned, I think, since the last time I biked across Canada. It actually worked out. It actually worked out. Thanks to so many of you. So many of you have donated. I don't think not once did I go on the GoFundMe page, the platform, and actually like check it out and like thank people on there. I felt so bad about that. I tried my best to thank people in the comment sections, just sort of generally on Facebook and in my YouTube videos. People e-transferred me. I didn't know how to thank people when they sent me the e-transfer. I would get an email from your e-transfer saying so and so has donated X amount of money, and then if they left a message, the message would show up in my email. I didn't know how to thank people directly back from that. Um, uh, I'm I'm just floored by all the people. Just so many people have donated small amounts, large amounts. It's uh, so many people to get me across here. I couldn't have done it without you. I didn't have the funds. Like many people with schizophrenia, we're not rich. We're just barely scraping by. Many of us are homeless. I talked to a lady from the BC Schizophrenia Society, and she wants to get me on some Zooms with some of her clients and family members. And she says, a lot of the people, a lot of the families, they're in their 70s and 80s, and they are worried about their son or daughter in their 40s or 50s with schizophrenia and who's going to look after them when they pass away. So, yeah, I've been blessed with, I call it full recovery. I feel pretty darn good. I'm sure there's some of my thoughts and behaviors that might not be 100% mentally certified, but I feel I'm definitely in the normal range again, the way I was when I was a teenager, the last time I felt like this. And wow, I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I did this. I can't believe it. I honestly can't. So I wanted to share this video, and just yeah, there were so many people I wanted to phone and text. I'm like, well, I'm putting a mass one out to everybody here. This is my phone call to you. This is my text. This is my conversation, and I did it. Little old me. Who'd have thunk? Little old me, little old Matthew Dixon. I think a lot of us think we're all little old so and so, little old me. Um, I still think of me as little old me. I don't really think of myself as a cyclist, to be honest. Other than these two bike trips, I haven't done a ton of cycling. I mean, I talked to cyclists along this. I've talked to cyclists along this trip, and I'm like, wow, you know so much more than I do about bikes. I mean, I didn't even really know the best way to change some tough flat tires. People could see that in Saskatchewan. Like, I don't know what to do here, and people are giving me advice on online. So I haven't biked the whole way. I had to take some drives in places against my will, really. I just wasn't able to do some sections of it, but I've biked 90 something percent of the country, and I didn't feel that alone. I'm amazed at how not alone I felt on this trip. But it hit me yesterday, like, wow, like I've really gone the whole way by myself, physically by myself, me and my bike and my tent and sleeping bag, and it was just me, alone. There are always cars around, strangers. I met some people along the way, friends from home, other people, new friends. Made some new friends along the way. They helped me out. People who went out of their way to help me along the way, and yeah, uh, a lot of hands went into making this possible. And I would really like to share that with all of you, because without you guys, I couldn't have done it. Well, you could say, Matthew, you did the hard part, all the biking and everything. I'm like, well, if no one did all those little things, all those things that you thought might, all those things that you might thought were little things, they all added up, and because I'd have been in scrapes without them. Um, yeah, just simple donations alone, I'd have had to say probably in maybe Alberta, um, have to take a bus back home. Sorry, I can't do it. Don't have the funds for it. I was conscious of that. Will this work out? I didn't set out on this knowing what was going to happen, and I'm just over the moon that, that it all worked out. So I want to have a party when I get back to my hometown, St. Andrews, New Brunswick, and celebrate. I'd love to have some music and dancing if possible, and people are welcome to come by. And I don't have a date yet, but I'd like it to be pretty soon. I've asked Kurt Gumishel, who's biking across Canada right now. He's from St. Andrews. I grew up with him. I said, Kurt, he's back in St. Andrews in early October. He'll be biking until then. And I said, Kurt, would you like me to wait until you're back before we have a party? Because I thought it would be kind of neat to celebrate both of us. He said, no. He said, don't worry about me. He said he's going to have to go straight back to work once he comes back. And he said, strike while the iron's hot, keep building the momentum. So I'm like, okay. We'll have a party then. Maybe I get back into, I take the Argentia ferry to North Sydney overnight from the 9th. I get into North Sydney on the 10th, September 10th, Sunday at 9 a.m. There's some Sydney politicians who want to meet me there, some other mental health people. I would like to meet some other people along the way through Nova Scotia and New Brunswick to help celebrate. And yeah, so maybe the weekend after the 10th, what would that be? The 16th, 17th, something like that. That Saturday night, Friday or Saturday night, maybe we could have a little soiree. I'd like to make some videos from that and share it with other people, all the other people who've joined in to help make this possible so that they can partake in some of the celebrations as well. So I'm running out of time on my video here. It's probably long enough, 10 minutes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.